Keep up to date on your insurance. Make sure you have the right coverage for your needs, and be sure to add any new purchases or improvements you've made. For Julie, this was a costly mistake.
The day of the fire, we had just finished a remodel, and we had just purchased 2 brand new coolers, and we neglected to put that onto our insurance. So our coolers, we just kind of lost. We just had to eat them.
Looking at an insurance policy during a disaster or after the disaster is actually a day late. You need to take a look at that ahead of time to make sure that your policy is up to date and cover the new acquisitions that you have just purchased within the last couple of years.
Following the disaster, determine the options open to you. Research suggests that unless business owners make good decisions about recovery, the largest losses come not from the direct damage of the disaster itself, but in the years following the disaster.
Decisions that are made prior to a disaster and during a disaster has long-term effects. And so the choice that you make is going to determine whether or not your business is going to actually survive and whether or not you will be able to start up from where the disaster left you.
Keep in mind that following any large-scale disaster in a community, things never get back to normal. The community almost always changes permanently, creating a new business environment. Companies that adapt to those new circumstances and take the right steps can not only survive a major disaster, but potentially can achieve real success in the years following the event.
I would never think that a disaster was going to happen to me. And the people next door in the same block never thought it would happen to them. So it always happens to someone else, but someday you might be that someone else. And so having a plan, you know, you have to have some kind of plan.
As we developed the business case to convince our directors and upper management that this was the right thing to do, we began to realize this is the right thing for everybody. It's good for Boeing, and if you have a small business, you should think about doing this as well.
When the bricks are falling off the parapet, the roads are closed, and you realize you don't have a plan. And so it's very important that you realize that at any given day or hour here, geologic risk could affect the way you operate, and you need to take that into account in terms of your business plan.
Part of the front of the building just fell down, crushing some cars. The good news is that we have no reports of anybody being seriously hurt here, but look at all the damage there.
It was having those plans in place that really helped us survive, helped us get back in business. I know when we walked out into the parking lot and our CEO turned to me and said, "Rick, now what do we do? What are the next steps?" I could actually look at him and say, "Orrin, I've got a plan. I know what we're going to do next. We need to meet at 8 o'clock at our emergency facility. I've got the teams. I've already called our structural engineer. I've got all the phone numbers right here. I can be in touch with them, and I'll have a plan for you tomorrow on how we get back into business." That was critical.
Preparedness. Preparedness is the key to the whole thing. You really need to be prepared.
Being prepared truly does pay off.